The following is a presentation of RMG Sports, award-winning championship television.
Race fans, get ready for Chase to the Checkered. You know, when you come to Jennerstown Speedway, there's plenty of stuff to do. You can take a nap. You can catch up on your reading. You can even take a steam bath. But most people just like to watch the racing. So somebody wake up Snooky, because Chase to the Checkered starts now.
Hi, I'm Sheila.
And I'm Teresa, and we're from Blairsville.
Race fans, start your engines.
Race fans, welcome back to Chase to the Checkered. We get this week's C2C rolling with the open wheel excitement of the Jennerstown Speedway Modifieds. Number 60, Bob Bench Jr. was out in front at the start. Number 31, Matt Smith, and number 37, Paul Urso fought for second. 6 laps in, Urso used the inside line and slid by Smith, claiming the second place spot. The short field of modifieds lined up behind Benz as he went on to win the feature.
We were lucky tonight. We missed our setup bad for the feature. I was really loose. Yeah, sometimes you take too much for granted.
It felt like the car was coming in towards the end. It was getting fast. Actually, we just weren't dropping off as much as Bob. But the car felt really good, and I was happy with it.
Benz and Urso were followed by Matt Smith, Matt Panaya, and Bernie McQuillan in the top 5. Missing from the front 5 was number 1, Mike Bacalon. He recently underwent gallbladder surgery and raced enough to acquire some points for the evening.
Just kind of ginger right now. My doctor suggested me not to drive, but I just had to turn a couple laps, just get some points. You know, I am kind of in a points race.
In fact, he's in the front of the points race. Bacalon is now just 2 points ahead of Paul Urso. Jason Bush and Brian Stevenson round out the top 5 in the Jennerstown Speedway Modifieds Division points. Now, on to the excitement of the Tommy Gale Hallmark Trailers Pro Trucks. When the green flew, the front 4 were door to door. Number 60, Adam Kostelnik, got a little loose, and number 96, Todd Price, took sole possession of the front spot. Number 20, Josh Kokenauer, came around for second. Number 97, Jason Lasky, got around a sparking Adam Kostelnik, moving up to 4th. As Todd Price moved out with the lead, number 8, Marion Reno Jr. came up on Josh Kokenauer to battle for second. This fight lasted for 2 laps, with Reno coming out with second. Lasky followed Reno seconds later to take 3rd away from Kokenauer. On lap 8, number 02, Jake Hounsel, got sideways out of turn 1. He got the truck refired and was on his way, eliminating the need for a caution. With 2 laps to go, Lasky had caught up to Reno. Lasky came alongside of the 2002 champ and passed him for second. But Todd Price led every lap and won the Tommy Gale Hallmark Trailers Pro Truck feature. This was the Allen Bank driver's 4th win of 2003.
I looked in the mirror and seen them all running side by side and getting stacked up. That was just everything I needed. We were loose enough up off the corner that if we'd had to run in traffic, we'd have probably been in trouble.
Price, Jason Lasky, and Marion Reno Jr. were followed by Josh Kokenauer and Derek Wink in the top 5. The win moves Todd Price to within 6 points of the division points leader, Jason Lasky. Marion Reno Jr., Josh Kokenauer, and Adam Kostelnik make up the top 5 point getters in the Tommy Gale Hallmark Trailers Pro Trucks. Coming up on Chase to the Checkered, we've got the highlights from the Jennerstown Speedway Street Stocks, Men's Enduro, and Charger Division. Plus, you don't want to miss C2C's coverage of the Jennerstown Speedway 150 coming up. But first, let's see if you can make the connection. Brought to you by RaceFansConnect.com, the ultimate place to meet race fans. Which of these active late model drivers has the most career wins at Jennerstown? Is it Mark Smith, Mark Catone, Richard Mitchell, or Barry Audi? We'll have the answer and so much more as we continue with Chase to the Checkered right after this. Race fans, welcome back to Chase to the Checkered. In the men's enduro feature, it was once again Bad Brad McCoy taking home the trophy.
Oh, you just look at the leaderboard and keep your rearview mirror open for any of them on the board.
McCoy was followed by Patrick Parlock, Greg Lohr, Corey Snowberger, and Bob Enos in the top 5. Next up, the Jennerstown Speedway Street Stocks. Number 74, Jason Holder took off with the lead when the green dropped. But division points leader Dink Colarusso was cutting through the pack like a hot knife through butter. Here he gets by number 07 Josh Dunmeyer for 4th. Next, he followed number 75 June Wyant past number 73 Roger Onstead for 3rd a lap later. Wyant would put up a fight, but he slid a bit too high coming out of turn 2, and Colarusso jumped at the chance to take 2nd from the 75. It would take him 7 more laps, but Colarusso got by Jason Holder for the lead just past the feature's midway point. And like we've seen all season long, Dink Colarusso took off with the lead, the checkered flag, and the trophy in the Jennerstown Speedway Street Stock feature. This was the Pride of West Mifflin's 11th win in 12 races at Jennerstown.
I just needed to make 6th for the cut, to start 6th, and with, 7 weeks of racing to go up here, I'm starting to look at the bigger picture right now, be a little conservative maybe.
I know Dink, when he comes off the corner, he's usually the lowest car coming out, and that's where he usually gets everybody coming out of the corner. And anything I was trying to do is guard the corner coming out, so I was trying to go in a little slower and come out a little harder.
Colarusso and Holder were followed by June Wyant, Roger Onstead, and Bill Ashton in the top 5 feature finishers. Colarusso's dominance has placed him firmly atop the Jennerstown Speedway Street Stocks points. He's now 38 points ahead of Roger Onstead. Jason Holder, Billy Mosteller, and Jason Fritz round out the top 5 in points. Next up, the Jennerstown Speedway Chargers. As number 74 Phil Grubb shot out with the lead, the rest of the pack was fighting door to door for position. Number 22 Dwayne Knoll gets too high, and number 24 Chantal Germick threads the needle out of turn 4. Number 27 Greg Preisner joins Germick as they continue to thrill the crowd by making it 3 wide down the backstretch. A lap later, Preisner used the low line and got by Germick for 2nd. 6 laps in, Germick worked her way back into 2nd. Phil Grubb slowed up and Germick shot by for the lead. Soon, Preisner used the high line and got by Grubbs. Then, number 22 Dwayne Knoll used the very bottom groove and got under Grubbs for 3rd. With 1 lap to go, Preisner took the lead by a hair. As they came around for the checkered, Germick stayed on the throttle, held off Preisner, and went on to win the Charger feature. This was the North Huntington driver's 4th win of 2003.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. I thought Greg had me at the end, but I think I was a little faster off the corner. He was a little faster going in the corner.
Germick and Greg Preisner were followed by Dwayne Knoll, Phil Grubbs, and Mike Stevens in the top 5. Germick holds on to her lead in the Charger points, but Greg Preisner is just 12 points behind. Phil Grubbs, Mike Stevens, and Rick Phillips round out the top 5 in points. Before we see if you can make the connection, let's check out the starting lineup for the Jennerstown Speedway 150. On row 1, 2 familiar drivers, Barry Audi and Neil Brown led the pack. Richard Mitchell is in row 2. He's won both of the extra distance races at Jennerstown this year. Bobby Henry recovered from a nasty accident last week to qualify the number 11 in the 5th position next to Chucky Kessler. Greensburg's Jamie Bolkovac was alongside of Somerset's Gary Wiltrout. South Carolina's Jimmy Lang was in the neighborhood and stopped by to qualify 9th, and Mark Poole rounds out the top 10. Where did your favorite driver qualify? Here's how the rest of the field of 24 late models stacked up. We'll have C2C's green to checkered coverage of the Jennerstown Speedway 150 coming right up after this commercial break. You'll want to stay tuned. We've got all the highlights. But first, let's see if you've made the connection. Brought to you by RaceFansConnect.com, the ultimate place to meet race fans. Which of these active late model drivers has the most career wins at Jennerstown? If you were at Jennerstown Speedway last Saturday night, you'd already know the answer. Is it Mark Smith, Mark Catone, Richard Mitchell, or Barry Audi? We'll have the answer and the highlights of the Jennerstown Speedway 150 coming up on Chase to the Checkered, right after these words from our sponsors. Race fans, welcome back to Chase to the Checkered. Now, were you able to make the connection? Brought to you by RaceFansConnect.com. Which of these active late model drivers has the most career wins at Jennerstown? If you were at Jennerstown Speedway last Saturday night, you already know the answer. Is it Mark Smith, Mark Catone, Richard Mitchell, or Barry Audi? Although Barry Audi and Richard Mitchell have been hot, and Mark Catone is a proven winner, Mark Smith, with his 24 wins, is the active driver with the most wins at Jennerstown. Did you make the connection? Now, on to C2C's coverage of the Jennerstown Speedway 150. Before the race, the 24 Rolling Rock late models pulled onto the front stretch for driver introductions. This gave the C2C crew an opportunity to speak to some of them. Here in the back row is number 20, Brian Curry. It's his first time racing at Jennerstown Speedway.
It's hard to stay positive when, nothing goes your way. And it's been another one of them days where they haven't gone our way at all, so we'll see how things turn out.
The week before, number 69, Chris Lester, was involved in this incident on the backstretch that claimed number 11, Bobby Henry.
We just had some minor damage, some control arm damage. Basically, we were good for tonight, just readjusting things. I felt bad with getting involved with Bobby, also with the Rolling Rock car. I want to send out my regards to John Komarinsky. He was involved in an accident at Motordrome. Good luck, John. I hope you feel better. And I think we'll be doing pretty well tonight.
Bobby Henry was back as well, but his car showed the scars of the previous week's wreck.
Actually, we didn't set it up to qualify. They were actually working on the long race package, and I think it's going to work out real good. We'll have to wait and see, I guess.
After signing some autographs and getting some pictures with some very special fans, the drivers loaded up and were ready to race the Jennerstown Speedway 150. At the race's start, the pole sitter, number 75, Barry Audi, took off with the lead. Number 22, Richard Mitchell, who has won both of the extra distance races at Jennerstown this year, moved up into second place position in front of number 98, Neil Brown, and number 1, Chucky Kessler. On lap 14, Mitchell had caught up to Audi, punched the throttle, and passed the 75, going into turn 3 for the lead. Number 11, Bobby Henry, was charging up through the pack as well, but on lap 19, his luck would run out as he joined number 24, Sean the Bullet Beam, stopping in turns 3 and 4, bringing out the caution. After the restart, number 22, Richard Mitchell, and number 75, Barry Audi, were out in front. Audi pulled ahead with the lead. 4 laps later, Mitchell recaptured the lead coming out of turn 4. He would build a nice lead that would be erased on lap 48 as number 3 Mel Wilt brought out the caution. Mitchell picked up where he left off on the restart. On lap 61, the silver bullet of Neil Brown got by Barry Oddie for second. We jump ahead to lap 85, where the caution came out since the hood of number 6 Snooky Williams flew off, bringing out the yellow flag. 5 laps later, the field was slowed again, with number 9 Jacob Coffin facing the wrong way in turns 3 and 4. But the restart lap is where the sheet metal would really fly, as number 98 Neil Brown and number 1 Chucky Kessler made contact out of turn 4, causing a major chain reaction. Number 95, Gary Wiltrout, came in with some body damage. The crew went to work trying to get Neil Brown back out onto the track. Jamie Bolkovac got separated from the mess as safety crews worked to free Chucky Kessler from the number 1. All drivers were okay. Their cars and their chances to win, well, that's another story. When the race resumed, number 60, Tommy Beck, was alongside of Mitchell fighting for the point. But their battle would be cooled after 4 laps since number 23, Dusty Rhodes, was stalled in the backstretch. 8 laps later, division points leader Neil Brown's car overheated and he brought the silver bullet to a stop on the backstretch. His crew would try to get him back out, but his chance for a win and possibly his run at the NASCAR Regional Championship were over. On the restart, Mitchell pulled away from Beck and the rest of the pack. Soon, number 75, Barry Oddie, got under Beck and passed him for second. Number 95, Gary Wiltrout, tried to follow, but he almost lost it in turn 2. Number 94, Mark Smith, was there to pick up the pieces and the position. With 17 laps to go, Mitchell's lead over the field would again evaporate. Turns 3 and 4 again claim number 9 Jacob Coffin, this time for good. After a quick check by the Jennerstown Speedway safety crew, Coffin was released and was okay. The restart saw Mitchell and Oddie resume their fight for the front. Mitchell shot ahead as Tommy Beck and Mark Smith fought it out for third behind Oddie. But the 22 dropped the throttle and crossed the line first, winning the Jennerstown Speedway 150. This was the Brewston Mills, West Virginia drivers' third win in 5 races at Jennerstown in 2003.
The car started tightening up through the middle, getting loose off. And the longer we ran, the better our car got. And that's what I wanted to keep doing, is keep going. But that's just the way races go. And yeah, I didn't know if it was going to end.
I was kind of riding the first half. The car started loosening up, so I figured a better ride, and it started heating up. Then we pitted, we got it cooled down and tightened it up, but that went too far, and it was a little bit too tight there at the end.
We took some stagger out of the back, which, for those who don't know, is one tire's bigger than the other to make the car turn around the corner, almost like a coffee cup rolling on its side. And we went a little bit too much, and the car tightened up there at the end.
Oh yeah, we're definitely happy with the top 5. But, that last caution, the 20 to go there, we sort of lost our brakes. We didn't have no brakes, so it might have got pretty interesting if we wouldn't have lost our brakes.
We got in a little racing deal coming up off of 4 and got in the wall and bent the shroud and stuff. We actually bent the whole frame on the race car, and we had to make several pit stops. The car was overheating, and the crew just did a great job keeping the car in one piece so that we could end up finishing the race and collecting a few points.
Yeah, I think we'd end up with the top, 3 or 4 finish tonight, and the car was really good, and it seemed like us 3 or 4 would always pull away from the other guys, and it's just a shame, tore up me and Neil, and I feel bad for Neil about the points again, I don't know how I'm going to apologize to him, but I have to think of something.
While Mark Smith finished 4th in the feature, he was moved to last place. The number 94 failed post-race inspection because of a non-approved suspension. Gary Wiltrout and Mark Poole were moved up to finish in the top 5. Neil Brown came back to finish 13th in the feature. The 13th place finish was very costly for Brown. He is now just 6 points ahead of Barry Oddie in the Rolling Rock late model division points. Bobby Henry also felt the pain. His 19th place finish helped Mark Catone, who finished 6th, jump over Henry for 3rd. Jamie Bolkovac rounds out the top 5 in points in the Rolling Rock late models. Neil Brown still holds a very slim lead in the NASCAR Dodge Weekly Series Northeast Region points. He holds a lead of just 31 thousandths of a point in the Competition Performance Index. Coming up tonight at Jennerstown Speedway, Dodge Motorsports presents the racing of the NASCAR Dodge Weekly Series, and it's Scout Night. All scouts in uniform will be admitted for free. Plus, adult admission is just $5 for tonight's race, as well as next Saturday's race at the Laurel Highlands Oval. I'm Steve Richard, and thanks for watching Chase to the Checkered. We'll be back here next week for more motorsports excitement, but we hope to see you tonight and every Saturday night at Jennerstown Speedway.